Hello there, it's MusicMan0150, also known as Gary, and I'm back with another video demonstration. And what I'd like to show you now is another of my electronics. And I don't think I've shown you this at all before. This is a DBX 5-disc CD changer. And DBX was a company that was in relation with a company called DAK, D-A-K. And I believe the company DAK is still in existence, and DBX made products for DAK. And as far as I know, this is the only DBX model of CD players that was made. This is a DBX 832. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. Yeah, there we are. DBX 832. And as you can see, it's got quite a few features. Here's your power button right here. And then over here you have your controls. Let's get a little closer so you can see it. But it goes out of focus. That's the only thing I don't like about this camera. There we go. Okay, this is the normal control. This is to play CDs in sequence, you know, from track 1 to track whatever, in order. Random allows you to play a CD at random. In other words, the changer or the CD player will pick a track at random and play it, or a CD at random and play it. And then this is program. This allows you to program only the tracks that you want to hear, whether it's on the one CD or all the CDs that are loaded. This is your forward and reverse buttons here to scan through the tracks. Skip forward and back for previous and next track. Play plays the track or the CD. Pause temporarily pauses it, so that way if you need to pause the song or a speech track, you can do so and then come back to where you left off. And then stop stops it completely. So when you hit stop, it goes back to the beginning of the disc. And then over here is your open and close and disc skip. And then of course over here, if you're programming a CD, these are really nice. You can choose whatever disc you want and program it accordingly. You know, you can go up to, I think you can go up to 32 tracks total. Not per disc, total. So say you had 20 tracks programmed on CD 1. That would only leave you 2 tracks on 2, 2 tracks on 3, 2 tracks on 4, and possibly 4 tracks on 5. Or depending on how you program your tracks, you know, the number of tracks per CD may reduce or increase depending on how many you program per CD. But it's 32 tracks total. So let's go ahead and power this up. And there's the display, as you can see there. I already have the amplifier turned on. That's why you heard that pop. And if it sounded like that the pop echoed, well, here's another device that I have connected to the system as well. This is actually a Digitech reverb delay processor. And on this you can have all kinds of different settings of reverb or echoes or delays or whatever you want. But what I'm going to do now, for right now, and let's turn this off. See, it says now off in the display, because we're not going to really get into this device too much. I'll show you that in more detail in another video. But getting back to the CD player, as you can see, the display is on, and I believe, yeah, right here, I have the remote for it right here. This is the actual remote for the player. So you can do a lot more with this. You can enter the number of the track you want and hit program. You can do A and B repeats. A repeat means that it'll just loop and loop and loop in one section. Or I think it's the B. I'm not really sure how the repeat function works. I don't use it that much. So I'm not sure if it's the A or the B that keeps it looping constantly until you stop. But one nice thing about this is if you look real closely over here, there's a button here someplace, right here, on-off display. So that means if you don't want the display showing, you just hit that button. Let's see if this is it. That's it. And it turns off the display, simulating that the unit is off, but it is actually still on, because you'll hear the disc play. But it can fool somebody. You can really fool somebody with this. In fact, let's give you a little demonstration. Let's see what we got here inside the player. Okay, we got a couple of discs in there. So let's go ahead and reclose this, and we'll hit play, and let's see what we got. Okay, now that's a CD that I use for practice for church. So let's go ahead and change that. Let's see what else we got here. Let's go ahead and change it again. Because I do have a regular music CD in there too. Ah, there we go. Okay. Now, the player is playing, and I'm going to hit the display on and off, and watch what will happen. Okay, the display is off, but the player is still running, but it could fool somebody thinking that, well, maybe it's just the radio, or maybe it's a cassette. Usually nowadays, cassettes are not used much. So they might think it's the radio, or they might think it's the music channel off a cable. Now, in case you're wondering what the crackle is on the left channel there, let's turn that down a little bit. Lower it here with the mixer. This equalizer has been giving me some trouble. These controls tend to be accumulating dirt, and so it's given me some trouble with sound quality. This equalizer is the same age as the sweeper that I showed in a previous video. It's from 1987. So I'm going to need to take this apart and try to spray some cleaning fluid in the controls to see if that'll cure the problem, because it's really clogged up with dirt, I think. That's why it's giving me some bad sound. But anyway, as far as back to the player, the display is off, and that can fool somebody. So what we're going to do now is put the display back on, and that way you can see all the different indications that it has. Right now, as you can see, it says normal, and there's that big arrow pointing to the right. That means play. And it's now on disc 4. I only have 4 discs in there, but you can put in 5. And it's on track 1, and then it's showing the time display. And then this box right here, let's see if I can get a closer shot. No, I can't. It goes out of focus. But that box right there where you see all those numbers, that's the tracks. That'll show you up to 20 tracks. And then if the CD has more than 20 tracks, then there's a little over display to the left of that box. Let me see if we can show that real quick. Oops, pushed the wrong button. Let me do disc skip here. Now see, it bypassed 5 because there was nothing in 5. Okay, now that's got less tracks. Let's see what the next one has. That's got 19. But I think you get the idea. I think you get the idea on what it would look like if it said over. So I turned the sound off there. So anyway, that's a little demonstration of the CD player, and I don't know if there's any still in existence besides this one. This one I actually had refurbished because after about a year the laser went bad on it. So I took it to Radio Shack, and they had a service called the Repair Shop, and so I was able to take this unit in, and they did a fantastic job with it. They actually replaced the laser on it, and it's been working ever since. I only went in for service one time, and that was about a year after or so, and it's been working well. So if any of you have one like this and you have any questions about it, please comment or send a video response, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have. So on that note, we're going to conclude this video and hope that you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and have a great day, and I'll be back with more videos.